शुक्रिया ए हाफिजो इसका रहो करते अदा हिफ्ज़ कुरआन के लिए अल्लाह ने तुमको चुना शुक्रिया ए हाफिजो इसका
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. Welcome to another edition of Pearls from the Quran. Today we take a look at the 25th juz of the Quran Kareem, one of the longer juz of the Quran Kareem. Even in the Tarawih Salah, you feel it a little bit when you're reciting the 25th juz. It's a little longer. Yes, you've got 28, 29 and 30th juz also a bit long, but there you've got short surahs and people are more familiar with the words, etc. I want to focus on a famous surah in this juz, and that is Surah Dukhan. Dukhan meaning the smoke. If we look at the opening verses, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says Hamim, and Hamim is from the Huruf Muqatta'at. Those words, the meaning of which is known only to Allah. Wal Kitabil Mubin. Allah says, by the oath of the clear book. By the oath of the clear book. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatin mubarakatin inna kunna mundirin. We have revealed it on a blessed night. Verily, we are the warners. فِيهَا يُفْرَقُ كُلُّ أَمْرٍ حَكِيمٍ. The decision of every matter of wisdom is passed on this night. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying two things. We have revealed it, meaning the Quran, on a blessed night. On a blessed night. And the decision of every matter of wisdom is passed on this night. Now, which night is this in reference to? The majority of the scholars say this is in reference to Laylatul Qadr, which is found during the odd nights of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And the majority of the scholars opine that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th night of Ramadan. Now, they say the reason for this is because in another verse of the Quran, Allah very categorically says, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. The Quran was revealed on Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. So here, when Allah says we have revealed it on a blessed night, then the blessed night has to be Laylatul Qadr, so that there is no contradiction between the two verses. However, if you look at the second line, فِيهَا يُفْرَقُ كُلُّ أَمْرٍ حَكِيمٍ. The decision of every matter of wisdom is passed on this night. Now, what is referred to here? Scholars write that this is in reference to the taqdeer, meaning whatever has been written in the Lawh-i-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet, as to what will be transpiring for the next year. This is now passed on to the various angels who have various responsibilities for the coming year. For example, in previous discussions, we have spoken about Malakul Maut, the angel of death, Israel, and all the angels of death who work underneath him. So on this night, they are given now the list for the next year. Who are the people who are going to pass away and how they are going to pass away, and all other affairs from the Lawh-i-Mahfuz. Now the majority of the scholars say that this night is in reference to Laylatul Qadr. So on Laylatul Qadr, the Quran was revealed. And on Laylatul Qadr, this distribution takes place, if you like, this rollout takes place. However, there is a great Mufassir. He was a student of Abdullah bin Abbas, who was the father of Tafsir. His name is Ikramah. And he says that Laylatul Mubarakah, a blessed night, is in reference to Laylatul Bara'ah, the 15th night of Sha'ban. And he bases this on a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which talks about the rollout of the taqdeer for the forthcoming year taking place on Laylatul Bara'ah. Although there are many scholars who say that this narration is not authentic. Hence, the majority of the scholars say that the correct opinion is that Laylatul Mubarakah, blessed night, when Allah says in Surah Dukhan that we reveal the Quran on the blessed night, it's in reference to Laylatul Qadr. And that next sentence that says on this night, the rollout of the taqdeer takes place, it is also in reference to Laylatul Qadr. And the more correct opinion is that on Laylatul Qadr, this rollout of the taqdeer takes place. Although some, like in Tafsir Uthmani, it is mentioned that the rollout starts on Laylatul Bara'ah and it's completed on Laylatul Qadr. But the better opinion and the opinion of the majority is that it's Laylatul Qadr. Now, as I said, whoever the sustenance, that's what's rolled out on this night, good, evil, death, etc. All the angels that will facilitate this, the rollout takes place on this blessed night, Laylatul Mubarakah. Then a few verses down, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, فَارْتَقِبْ يَوْمَ تَأْتِ السَّمَاءُ بِدُخَانٍ مُبِينٍ. So wait for the day when the sky will issue forth a manifest smoke. Wait for that day when the sky will throw out a great smoke. Now, many scholars say, and the majority of the scholars say, that this will happen close to Qiyamah. The other night when we were talking about Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, we mentioned that one of the great signs of Qiyamah, amongst the 10 great signs that will happen before Qiyamah, is the emergence of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. And we spoke also that night about the smoke. We explained in one of the previous discussions that Qiyamah will only take place when there is no believer left on planet Earth. As long as there's someone saying Allah, Allah, then Qiyamah will not take place. So this smoke will come and it will afflict the believers who will catch a cold and eventually pass away. And the disbelievers, they will experience a great difficulty in breathing. And they will then pass away later. But, when before they pass away, the believers will already have left this world, and hence Qiyamah will take place only upon the unbelievers. This is the opinion of Abdullah bin Abbas, Ali radiallahu an, Abdullah bin Umar, Abu Huraira, and many other Sahaba. However, one great Sahabi, Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu an, he had a slightly different opinion as to which smoke this verse refers to. He says that in the Meccan era, when the mushrikeen, when the polytheists had continuously refused to accept the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, although he was mercy unto mankind, he made dua that, oh Allah, afflict them with the drought of 7 years, like the people of Yusuf alayhi salam were afflicted with a drought. He thought that if they go through a bit of pain, maybe then they will be shocked into their senses and they'll come to some sort of a realization. They'll come to some sort of an understanding, and as a result, then something can transpire. And when that happened, then the scholars write that the 7 years of drought afflicted them, and they became so delusional, if you can put it that way, because of famine, that they used to see smoke on the horizon. They used to hallucinate. And if you look at the next verses, Abdullah bin Abbas then links it to this. يَغْشَى النَّاسِ, the smoke which will envelop people. هَذَا عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, this is a painful punishment. رَبَّ نَكْشِفْ عَنَّا الْعَذَابَ إِنَّا مُؤْمِنُونَ, our Rabb, remove this punishment from us and we will surely believe. Meaning that they will say on that day, they said that time to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, make dua to Allah to remove this famine. And he made dua and the famine was removed, but they went back to their ways. So the subsequent verses kind of like tie in with that narration, or that episode that took place in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And hence Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then made dua and the famine was uplifted. But there are these two opinions as to what the smoke refers to. It could either refer to what happened in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or what will happen to on the day of Qiyamah. And then there's one more verse also towards the end of this first ruku of Surah Dukhan. Allah talks about Pharaoh and how he was destroyed and how he left everything behind, his empire and his army and everything. And then Allah says, فَمَا بَكَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّمَاءُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَا كَانُوا مُنْدَرِينَ, neither the sky nor the earth wept for them, and they are denied reprieve. Now, what does it mean that the skies and the earth weep? The scholars write that every believer has two doors in the heavens. From the one door, his sustenance comes down, and from the other door, his good deeds go up. The day he passes away, both those doors close, and they weep for him. They weep now that nothing is going to be passing through them. But when Pharaoh died, because there was no good deeds coming up, and because he was such a tyrannical person, the heavens did not cry for him. So a question that we need to ask ourselves is that the day we die, maybe people will cry for us on earth, but will the people in the skies be crying for us? Will our deeds have been such that those people in the skies will say that it's a pity the sustenance is not coming down because it was fueling such great deeds which were then going up? May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala grant us that realization. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
अब्बू अम्मी को खुदा वो ताज कर पहनाएगा, जिसके आगे चांद सूरज को गिरहन लग जाएगा। शर्त बस ये है ना हो कौलो अमल में फासला, हिफ्ज़ कुरआन के लिए